Hello students, how are you? Fine. So students, first of all I am giving you my introduction. So my good name is Nimish Sharma, and today I am present here in front of all of you to have discussion on very interesting topic of chemistry. So we are just here today to begin our chemistry. So we are all going to discuss here with the beginning of chemistry. We are going to clear our concepts, some basic concepts of chemistry. So students, 11th science chemistry students, for English medium students, I am going to discuss about chapter 1, some basic concepts of chemistry. So whatever is the basic concepts here for chemistry that we are going to discuss. So first of all students, we should know very well what is chemistry, about whose concepts we are going to discuss. First of all, we should be clear with the term chemistry. So students, here one question is there for all of you, that what is chemistry. So students, many of you might have different thoughts about the chemistry, but whatever is given in your NCERT textbook, let's have some discussion on that. So you see that in your textbook only it is given, chemistry is considered as the science of conversion of molecules. Okay, do you agree with this? Yeah, many of us are agree with this, and there are many different definitions also. We can consider that also. Okay, but let us focus here. So here what is said, that about the conversion of molecules. So students, there are many examples in chemistry which we can consider as the conversion of molecules. Let us take some example, like hydrogen molecule reacting with the oxygen molecule, half molecule of oxygen. One molecule of hydrogen when react with half molecule of oxygen, it gives one molecule of water. Then one molecule of dinitrogen when reacts with three molecules of dihydrogen, it gives two molecules of ammonia. So there are many examples, okay, in which the molecules are converting. So we can consider chemistry as the science of conversion of molecules. Then chemistry is also considered in this way, that it is not only the science of about 100 elements, but it is also considered as the science to understand the formation of infinite number of different possible molecules from them. So students, in our periodic table, in the periodic table of the elements, classification of the elements in the periodic table, we have seen that there are 118 elements. Among those elements, all the elements are not reactive. Some elements are chemically inert also, but I am talking about those elements which are reactive. So we can consider that nearly 100 elements we can consider which are reactive. Among those, the science chemistry is not considered as only the science of those 100 elements. That is not limited. Chemistry is very vast, students. From this we are concluding that chemistry is very vast. That from the 100 elements, many different elements, they combine in different fixed ratios, and they give different type of compounds and different type of substances. New substances can be prepared daily. Okay, in our day-to-day life, we can prepare the new chemical substances by the reaction of different substances. So here from these 100 elements, there are the possibilities of infinite different molecules. There are the possibilities of the formation of infinite different number of molecules from them. So chemistry is not limited to only 100 elements, but that can be considered as the formation of infinite number of different possible molecules from them. Okay students, so let us now see what is the chemistry is giving the information about any matter. Okay. So we are starting the basics, students. So what is the chemistry giving information? How the chemistry is helpful to us to understand any matter? So you know that chemistry, okay, it gives information. Gives information about matter. It gives information about matter. Okay. So you can consider this way, the constituent particles of the matter. Okay. So the chemistry is giving some information about the matter. Which type of information about matter this chemistry is giving? It is giving about information about its composition. Let me write here. is giving information about the matter. So about this matter, which type of information it is giving? It is giving the information like its composition. So if we are talking about the composition broadly, let me say that this composition is nothing about but about the atoms or molecules present in them, or about the types of elements present. Types of element present. So if we talk about the composition, then that composition is giving us idea about the types of element present. Then it is also giving information about the structure. So if we talk about the structure of the matter, then it is also giving the information that how the elements are arranged, how constituent particles are arranged. And if we talk about the composition structure is, then if we talk about the properties, then there are two different properties, students. For any matter, we are getting the two different properties, that is physical properties and chemical properties. Students, for any matter, this chemistry is giving us information about its composition, that is the type of elements present, the types of elements, which type of elements are present in a given matter, and how much is the proportion of each element. Again, and according to that, how the matter differs from each other. Okay, and then also it gives information about the structure, that is how the constituent particles are arranged in a given matter. Then it also gives about the information about the properties of the particular matter. That properties are also classified in two types, that is physical properties and chemical properties. So for a particular matter, how it is having its different type of physical state, what is the different physical state and what is its physical appearance and everything, and chemical properties, how it behaves in a particular chemical reaction. So all those information about the matter is obtained by the study of chemistry. Okay students, if we are talking about this composition and everything, structure, composition, and according to that only the properties are based, dependent on the composition and structure. So students, we can consider here about the matter. Let me describe about this. Okay students, you can see these are the two different type of matter. What is this? This is chalk and this is scale. Okay, scale. Are they different? Yeah, you will say that this is different. On what basis you are saying that this is different? So these are different matters. So you can see, if we focus about this composition, okay, so basically you will say that both this matter consists different constituent particles. So how? So this chalk is made up of calcium carbonate. So constituent particles are what? Calcium carbonate. That is calcium, atoms of calcium element and atoms of carbon and oxygen are present in this. Okay, and that the percentage proportions are also different. And in this metal, okay, this is mainly consisting iron. Okay, so here both the substances are different, both the matters are different because their composition is different. Okay, but many times what happens, students, many times the matter are having same composition, but their structure are different, their structure of the matter are different. That means then also they are differing. So let me give the example for that. If we are talking about the same type of composition, so let me give the example like this way: H2O solid, H2O liquid, H2O gas. So here students, I am giving you, presenting example for the matter which are having same composition, but the structures are different. That means the constituent particles are arranged in any different way. So students, what is this? H2O solid is nothing else but ice. This is what? Water. And this is what? This is water vapor. Water vapor. So students, you can see in all this matter the composition are same because the formula is same. All of them are having 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen atom. Okay, 2 hydrogen atom and 1 oxygen atom. So that means the composition is same. Percentage of the particular elements are also same here, but then also they are different. Why? What is the reason behind that? Because the constituent particles, that is the molecules of H2O, are arranged in somewhat different way. Okay, that also we are going to study here, and that's why all these matters are differing. And moreover, that due to the different structure of this matter, due to the different arrangement of the constituent particles, they are showing different physical and chemical properties also. So students, this ice, water and water vapor, they are showing different physical and chemical properties also. Now students, if you are talking about the composition, structure and properties, why these physical properties, chemical properties are different, and how the constituent particles are arranged about. So if you are talking about these constituent particles, what are these constituent particles of the matter? So what this matter composed of? So you know that this matter is actually composed of atoms or molecules. So if we are studying about, if we are identifying about the elements, then what we are doing? Actually we are identifying the atoms of those elements, or if we are identifying a particular compound, then we are considering the molecules of those compound. Okay, so actually what we are doing, we are studying the constituent particles for a particular matter. For example, in this chalk and scale, how we differ that? Here there are the presence of calcium, carbon and oxygen. Basically it is having calcium carbonate, and this is having atoms of iron element. So how we got this idea about the composition? So actually we are doing the study of this atom or molecule. So as in this matter we are studying the atoms and molecule, can we say that this chemistry is also can be considered as the science of this atom or science of the molecule? Yeah, we can consider that chemistry. We can consider chemistry as the science of atoms or molecules. Okay. Okay, students. Now, many of you might have different type of questions arising in your mind. So let me present some particular type of questions which might be arising in your mind. So some basic questions are arising that about these constituent particles. So about these constituent particles, this type of questions are very common. Okay. So which questions? Can we see these particles? Can we see these particles? If you are talking about the particles, that means we are talking about atoms or molecules. Atoms or molecules. Okay. So question is arising, can we see these particles, atoms or molecules? Another question is arising, can we weigh them? I am not writing this. Can we weigh them? Can we know the weight of these atoms or molecules? Can we count atoms or molecules, the number of atoms or molecules? Can we correlate? Can we find out the relation? Can we find the relation? Can we find relation between number of constituent particles in matter with its mass of the matter? So these type of questions are arising. Okay, can we find the relation? Can we find this relation between the number of constituent particles in matter and mass of matter? So many these questions are arising. I am repeating the question. Can we see the particles, atoms or molecules? Can we see it? Can we weigh them? Can we count them? Can we find any relation between the number of constituent particles in matter as well as mass of the matter? So these are the basic questions arising in our mind. Okay students, if we are talking about the particular information about the matter, how the chemistry can give particular information, how it can give more precise information about any matter. So you know that for a given matter, if you are getting for a given matter, if you are getting some numerical data, about any measurement related to that matter, if you are getting any numerical data about any measurement related to that matter, then based on this you can give the information, you can describe the you can give the information with more suitable units. Okay, so based on this we can describe matter with more suitable units. So students, if you are getting any numerical data about the measurement of related to the particular matter, then based on that we can describe the matter with more suitable units. So students, this was all about the introduction of chemistry. Now we are going to discuss about the importance of chemistry, how chemistry is important in our day-to-day life, and how it is helpful to our whole national economy and everything, how it is helpful for the protection of environment and everything we are going to discuss here. Students, new topic is that importance of chemistry. Okay students, how the study of chemistry begin? We will start from that. Okay, let me discuss about the nature. Okay students, all of you know about nature. Have you understand nature 100%? What will be the answer? No. Nobody can understand nature 100%. Why? Because it's very complex. Very complex. Okay, nature is very complex. If we are talking about the nature of universe, okay, space, everything, then it is very complex. If we are talking about the nature of Almighty, it is very complex. We cannot never understand it 100%. And in order to understand, there are continuous human efforts are ongoing. Continuous human efforts are ongoing. Are still ongoing to understand nature. Okay students, in order to understand the continuous human efforts, which medium it has taken? Human has taken the medium of science. Okay? Science is the medium to understand. Science is medium to understand nature. Okay students, many persons have some doubts that science and nature are different. Actually, science and nature are not different. Science is actually the medium to study nature. Science is medium to study nature. Okay. Now students, all of you know that as the nature is itself very complex, then study of nature will be also very complex. So in order to simplify this complexity, in order to make our work more simple for the study of the nature, what happened? This science has been divided into different categories. It has been classified into different subjects. It has been divided into different categories. So what are the divisions of science here? There are different streams of science. So science has been divided into different branches. So there are different branches of science, we can say that. So what are the branches that we are going to discuss here? So first branch we can consider here this chemistry is the branch of science, and physics this branch of science. All these subjects you are studying only, sir, students. Chemistry, physics, biology, geology, many other branches are there for science. Here we are discussing about this, whatever is given in your chemistry textbook. So chemistry, physics, biology, geology. Okay, mathematics is always involved in the study of the science. So students, here we have to focus on this chemistry subject. As we are studying the chemistry, we are going to focus on this chemistry subject. Now students, you know that this chemistry has been further divided into 4 main categories, into 4 main sub branches. So what are the 4 main sub branches of chemistry? So students, one of the branches that organic chemistry, sub branches of chemistry, 4 main branches. One is the organic chemistry, another one is the inorganic chemistry, then physical chemistry, and analytical chemistry. Okay students, these are the 4 branches of the chemistry: organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, physical chemistry, and analytical chemistry. So in this type of chemistry, different studies of chemistry is done. In organic chemistry, all the study about the compounds containing carbon, which are completely covalently bonded. Such compounds are studied here. In organic chemistry, the compounds which are not having carbon, okay, or if the carbon is present, there might be ionic bond. So such type of compounds are studied in the inorganic chemistry. In physical chemistry is the study of the chemistry which involves about the relation of the energy involved in energy, entropy, everything is involved in the physical chemistry. So all that we are going to study only. Analytical chemistry, mostly it is involved in the practical application in order to understand this, in order to identify the elements present in a given sample of the compound. For example, suppose if you bring any sample from, if you get any sample from the different planets, like for example, if you get the sample of any substance from like Mars planet, and if you get it here, how will you identify the which elements are present in this sample? So, with the help of analytical chemistry in the chemistry laboratory, with the help of this analytical chemistry, you can able to identify the elements present in the given sample, and you can also able to quantitatively you can also able to find what are the percentage of a particular element present in a given sample of substance. So in this way, chemistry is very helpful to us. There are many different branches of chemistry. These branches are further divided into different sub branches of the chemistry, like petrochemicals, industrial chemistry, and many different branches of the chemistry are there. But these are the main 4 branches of the chemistry. Now students, we are going to see what is the position of this chemistry in science. So students, if you focus on the whole science, about the vastness of the science, if you focus about the vastness of science, if this is the vastness of science, then in this vastness of science, the chemistry is holding its central role. Chemistry is holding its central role in the vastness of science, and it is also having its relation with different branches of science like physics, biology, geology. So in this way, science, chemistry is holding its central position in the science, and it is also having the relation with physics, biology, geology, and different other branches of the science. Actually, all the branches of the science, they are in support for the study of different branches. So with the help of chemistry, physics is helping for the study of chemistry. Chemistry is helping the study of physics. The study of biology is chemistry is helping the study of biology also, and biology is helping the study of chemistry also. So in this way, all the subjects are equally important, students, and all of them are helpful to understand the particular subject. Okay students, now we are going to study In this importance of chemistry, we are going to know how the chemistry is contributing in a particular field, in particular areas. Contribution of chemistry in different areas. Sorry, in different areas. Or in different fields, you can say. In different fields also we can say. So students, you know that chemistry is giving contribution in many different fields, like production of fertilizers, then alkalis, then acids, then salts, then dyes, then polymers, then drugs, then soaps, detergents, metals and alloys. Besides this, if we are considering, we can also consider the industries manufacturing products which are basically organic or inorganic. So students, chemistry is giving its contribution in different fields, like production of fertilizers, alkalis, whatever these are present to us in our day-to-day life. Fertilizers, alkalis, acids, salts, dyes, polymers, drugs, soaps, detergents, metals and alloys, and many other type of products like organic and inorganic products. Manufacturing industries units are also present here, and all these are combinedly or together they are making very good support in the national in economic. Okay, so this chemistry is very helpful to us for the good national economy, for the good income of the nation, of any country. So besides this, other contributions of chemistry are also there. Besides this other contribution, or in addition to this, we can say what are the other contribution. So in addition to this, what are the other contributions? In addition to this, what are the other contributions? So it is also giving its contribution about in food. It is also giving its contribution in health and care. Then it is also giving its contribution about the products which are improving the qualities of human life. Life improving quality products. It is also giving life improving quality products. Then about some improved quality pesticides. Chemistry is also providing improved quality pesticides. So mostly updated pesticides are also coming. Then it is also providing very important. It is also providing life-saving drugs. So chemistry is also providing life-saving drugs. Okay, so chemistry is giving its contribution in the food also, in health and care also, life improving quality products like cosmetics and everything. Many different products are there. Improved quality of pesticides, then life-saving drugs. So students, this life-saving drugs, this is very important. Let me discuss which type of life-saving drugs until now this chemistry has been provided to us, which is very important, mentioned in your NCERT textbook. So talking about the life-saving drugs, students. life-saving drugs. You should remember these names also. Life-saving drugs are like this cisplatin, students, cisplatin. Then second one is Taxol. Students, you know that this Taxol is used in treatment of cancer. It is used in treatment of cancer. And third, students, this third one is AZT. What is this AZT? Let me tell you the full form of this AZT. This is actually azithromycin. The name of this drug, full form of this drug is azithromycin. And what is the use of this drug? So this drug is used, or it is helpful. You can say it is helpful for the victims of AIDS, or the victims of AIDS, or you can say the person who are suffering from AIDS. They are getting many lots of help from this AZT type of drugs. Okay, students. Now, what is the contribution of chemistry in the field of environmental protection? Let us see. So, we are talking about environmental protection. If we are talking about environmental protection, so in field of environmental protection, this chemistry has achieved success. Chemistry has achieved success. Achieved success. So let me talk which type of environmental problem issues this chemistry has solved. Let me talk one example. Let me give you. So students, environmental problem. So if you are talking about the environmental problem, let me give you one example. Students, you might have known about this CFC. Can you tell me what is the full form of this CFC? Okay, which letter? What does this stand for? So you know that the full form is chlorofluorocarbon. Chlorofluorocarbon. Okay. What is the use of this substance? This chemical substance? It is used as a refrigerant, coolant. Used as a refrigerant. It is used as refrigerant. That means coolant. So this chemical was used as a coolant, refrigerant in refrigerator as well as in air condition. Okay, so how this CFC was affecting us? So you know that this CFC was actually, it was becoming the reason of harmful effects on us. So how it was this CFC was harmful to us, let me discuss that. So you know that by the use of this CFC, it is spreading in the environment, and it goes up in the environment, it goes up in the atmosphere. So what is happening? So students, you know that this is, suppose this is Earth. Okay, consider this is Earth. This is our Earth, and this above Earth, nearly in 800 kilometer above Earth, 800 kilometer high altitude above Earth. Okay, up till there is the atmosphere. Okay. So Earth is covered up till 800 kilometer. It is covered with atmosphere, and the outer layer of the atmosphere, that is also protected. That is also protected by another layer, that is called ozone layer, O3 layer. That is ozone layer. Okay, students. Now this ozone layer, how it is working? Let me tell you. Nature has given us protection, but we ourselves are getting problem. So that we have to understand. So students, consider this is sun. Okay, sun. Okay, students. So this sun is falling its rays on the earth. Okay, sun is falling its rays on the earth, and along these sun rays, what are coming? Students, what are coming? UV rays are coming. So what this ozone layer is doing? This ozone layer is actually absorbing these UV rays and itself get decomposed. So in this way, UV ozone is absorbing the UV and it is converting into dioxygen molecule and nascent oxygen atom. Okay, so ozone when absorb UV ultraviolet rays, it is getting decomposed into dioxygen molecule and nascent oxygen, single oxygen atom. Okay, so when this CFC is reacting with this ozone, what is happening? Let me show you. When CFC are reacting with ozone, what is happening? Hole produced in ozone layer. Holes produced in ozone. So students, when holes are produced in ozone, what will happen? When this here holes will produce in ozone, what will happen, students? You know that due to this hole, this UV rays will enter the Earth's surface, will reach the Earth's surface where we are living, and this due to that, what will happen? We will suffer from the harmful radiation effect of the ultraviolet rays, and different type of disorders may arise. So in order to protect us from the harmful UV radiation, what chemistry is doing? Chemistry is replacing this chemical. So this chemical has been now replaced, and instead of this, what are coming? Different chemicals like HFCs are coming. So this is the contribution of chemistry only, how it is protecting us. So HFC is replacing this CFC, and due to this, by the use of this HFC, nowadays we have seen that HFC, due to the use of HFC, it is not creating any hole in the ozone layer, as there are now no holes. Now the holes are not forming in the ozone layer. What is happening? The layer of the ozone is maintaining, covering the atmosphere, and thereby we are getting protection from the harmful radiation of ultraviolet rays. So in this way, chemistry is helping us and solving the environmental problems. Okay, students, there are many different environmental problems. Let me discuss one more. Students, you might have studied about the greenhouse effect. You might have studied about the greenhouse effect. In this greenhouse effect, what is happening? So you know that greenhouse gases like CH4, methane, carbon dioxide, okay, etc. So this type of gases, what they are doing, when the sun rays are falling on the Earth's surface, this carbon dioxide type gas, okay, they absorb the reflected sun rays, and thereby they are increasing the atmospheric temperature. And by increase of the atmospheric temperature, what happen? The polar region ice, they start melting, and the water level in the sea get rising up, and everywhere the flood situation are arising. So due to this greenhouse effect, there are very adverse situation rising, and that's why we are needed to maintain the proportion of these gases. So need arise to maintain proportion of this gases. And students, to do this is a challenge. Students. Okay. To do this is a challenge for chemistry. Okay. Other challenge is also there, to understand biochemical reactions. To understand biochemical reactions occurring in our body, okay, that is also challenge. Students, you know that today's we are suffering from the pandemic problem of coronavirus, okay. So that is very important for us to understand the biochemical reactions in order to solve such type of pandemic problems, and that is also very difficult, and that's why that is challenge for chemistry. So students, you know that for the developing country like India, there is a need for developing country like India.